Hello, my name is Terry Bergeron, and this is my Proverb speech. As a child, I heard many popular sayings. Some, such as a penny saved is a penny earned, or the early bird catches the worm, I heard quite frequently. As I grew, I learned that these phrases have a name. They are called proverbs. But what exactly is a proverb? According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a proverb is a brief popular saying that gives advice about how people should live, or that expresses a belief that is generally thought to be true. In other words, behind every proverb, hiding in its shadows, is deep meaning. Most proverbs are brief sayings. However, when we interpret and analyze them, they can become valuable life lessons. One proverb in particular has sparked my curiosity. Maybe you've heard it. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. I've heard this saying my entire life. Usually, it is shortened to only the first part of the phrase, when in Rome. Nevertheless, what does it mean? What advice does this proverb suggest? I can answer that. When in Rome means when you are a visitor, you should be familiar with your environment. It would also serve you well to adhere to and abide by local traditions and cultural behaviors. You should be knowledgeable of the differences in customs and be willing to adjust your behaviors accordingly. This does not only apply in Rome. It is important in all aspects of life. For example, when you visit a friend's home, they might require you to remove your shoes upon entering the house. Without fail, when you arrive for a visit, you take off your shoes. You do this to fit in and out of respect for your friend's rules. After all, she removes her shoes when she enters her home, and when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Now, suppose you are traveling abroad. You are to attend a business meeting in Brazil to close a $250,000 deal. You arrive for the meeting and are greeted by a female with a light cheek kiss. In shock, you react adversely, pulling away with a look of disgust. Unfortunately, as a result, the deal falls through and your job is now in jeopardy. Had you known about the local greeting ritual, you might have avoided this uncomfortable situation. Gary Martin is author of the Meanings and Origins section of the Phrase Finder website, phrases.org.uk. When discussing the meaning of when in Rome, do as the Romans do, Martin states it is polite and possibly advantageous to abide by the customs of a society when one is a visitor. In addition, Karina Martinez Carter, author of Your Handshake Around the World, an article conducting business abroad requires an extra layer of knowledge, that of the local business culture and its customs. She goes on to say, being aware and respectful of those particulars can help establish trust and facilitate successful global business dealings. In China, people shake hands when meeting and often add a slight bow. She says that in Singapore, people also shake hands when they meet and often greet each other with a small bow. However, she cautions one to be aware that Singaporeans address each other very formally, and business cards should be offered and received with two hands. Martinez Carter also states, in the United Arab Emirates, a lingering handshake is the expected method for introduction. She urges one not to pull away from the handshake, even if you are uncomfortable with the length it has carried on. It is considered disrespectful and could ruin any future business dealings you may wish to have. As I discussed, when in Rome does not apply only to Rome. In a popular television reality series called Survivor, that originally aired on CBS but is now available on Hulu.com, contestants complete challenges and often win rewards that allow them to visit local villages and engage in customary rituals and traditions. In Season 6, Episode 10 of Survivor, a contestant named Eric Reichenbach wins a reward and flies to a village called Yap in Micronesia. As part of the greeting ritual, visitors are offered a local treat of Micronesian beer and something called betel nut. To be courteous, Reichenbach tried both. He laughed and danced the night away with the Micronesians. The next day, the combination of these two delicacies resulted in what he described as hangover-like symptoms. He was not disappointed, though. On the contrary, he was excited and claimed he partied too hard Micronesian style. He felt lucky to have been part of such an eye-opening, once-in-a-lifetime experience. He participated to fit in and ended up creating an everlasting memory of the Micronesian customs and rituals. So you see, life is full of diversity. To effectively connect with others, you should be open and respectful of their rules, customs, rituals, and traditions. If you participate in these customs, you might just create a lifelong friendship with a plethora of memorable experiences. Therefore, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Or in the case of Eric Rockenbach from Survivor, when in Micronesia, do as the Micronesians do. Thank you. The end.